All right, what's up? We're here with Isaiah Bagnah. He actually just transferred to BYU from Boise State. And I know if you're reading the description, you just said Isaiah Bagnah. So say it right for us.
So it's pronounced Bagnah.
Bagnah.
Yeah, so
All right, there you go. It's got
cut
the
in
band
half.
dash.
Yeah, exactly. Bagnah.
All right, where's that from? What's the origin of that?
Yeah, so my dad, he's actually African. So he's from a little it's like a strip country right in West Africa. It's called Togo. I don't know if anybody is familiar with Western Africa countries, but yeah, it's the one right next to Ghana. So anyways, that's where it comes from in his dialect. It's just Bagnah.
There you go. Where's your mom from?
My mom's from Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, she grew up actually in Alberta, where I was actually born. I was born in Edmonton, but she grew up in Alberta for most of her life. Grew up on a farm, actually. And then she moved out to British Columbia, a little bit by the ocean. It's called, Salmon Arm. But anyways, yeah, she actually met my dad in Alberta when she moved back for college.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, because he originally started in the East Coast in Quebec, Montreal.
Okay.
And so my dad's dialect is French. And so that's why, Quebec is mainly French-speaking people.
Right. Okay.
So with that being said, it was just kind of his best option about coming to America. So with that being said, he did his school there, and then he got his job out all the way in Alberta. And then next thing you know.
How far away is that from Quebec to Alberta?
It's pretty far.
Right?
It's pretty far. Actually, so I lived in Quebec for a while, for 2 years.
Okay.
And so originally I was living in Calgary, Alberta at the time. And then it was we drove all the way from Calgary to Montreal, and man, it was like a 32-hour drive.
Okay. So it's on the opposite side.
Yeah, literally. It's pretty far East Coast.
Okay. Because so I know nothing about Canada,
It's okay.
nothing, and so it's just all Canada up there to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's actually very interesting to me. It's a place I want to go, just because it's a big question mark to me. But because you grew up in Canada,
yep,
right?
Yep.
Till all through high school.
All through high school, my whole life.
Okay, so tell us about that experience. What was it like growing up in Canada and then coming to the States? Is there a difference?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I actually get asked this question a lot.
Sure you do.
And so it's kind of crazy because my whole life I've lived all around Canada.
Yeah.
And so I've lived West Coast, East Coast, and it's because of how my parents just kind of worked. It just basically consisted of us moving a lot. So with that being said, I've gotten to see a whole bunch of different cultures and all this diversity all around the country. And Canada itself is a pretty diverse country.
Yeah.
Because we got all the Europeans come East Coast, and then a whole bunch of Asian countries and cultures come all the way from the West Coast to the British Columbia and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool to see all that growing up, but you'd be shocked, it's pretty similar to the United States.
Is it?
There's not too much different other than of course, since Canada's a bilingual country, you have English and you have French on everything.
Really?
It's kind of trippy, because on the stop signs, on the top of it, it'll say stop.
Yeah.
And right underneath the word stop, it says arrête, which is stop in French.
Okay. So it's legit, everywhere you go is.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'd heard they kind of have two languages there, but I assumed mostly they spoke English, but I didn't realize how big of a French influence there was there.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And it's cool because growing up, like I said, my dad's dialect in Africa was French.
Yeah.
So I went to Francophone schools. I'm talking, I learned math, English, you name it, all in French.
Really?
Not English, sorry.
I was gonna say you learned English and French.
I was gonna say all my literature, all my language classes were in French, and so that's why sometimes if you hear me talking or some of my sentences are kind of butchered or something, it's because I believe it's because of that. Because growing up, yeah, because I did that from all the way from pre-K to the 7th grade.
So that's so cool. So what was your first language?
It was English.
It was English, but you did all your learning, your school learning in French.
All of it.
That's crazy. And then what, 8th grade, you just made a switch?
Yeah,
or what?
So 8th grade, since I got into sports, I really wanted to go to a school that, had better sports and, just a better opportunity for me to, just kind of get into the whole culture and, the whole atmosphere of sports. So with that being said, I transferred to an English school, and so that's kind of why.
For sports.
Exactly.
And I do want to come back to that in a minute, but while we're talking about like kind of your family and how it all came together, how old was your dad when he moved from Africa to Canada?
He was like, I think he was 23.
Okay.
Pretty sure he's 23. So he's pretty young, but.
And that's where he met your mom.
Yes, sir.
And what's your family consist of?
So my mom and my dad, me, and I have one older sister.
Just two?
Just two.
2 kids? How old's your older sister?
She's 2 years older than me, so she's 24 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's cool. And so, okay, coming back to that now, the football in Canada. What's, like, football in Canada like going through high school?
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's actually pretty different, because when you look at it, we have a bigger field, and like width and length. Like, our end zones are 20 yards.
Really?
Yeah, so.
Is the goalpost at the beginning of the end zone, right?
It's at the very front.
Yeah.
It's at the very front. And it's kind of crazy because, it's such, like, a hazard. It's such a, like,
that's always the first thing that comes to your mind, right?
That's what
it's
I'm
like,
saying.
how many people will run into that thing?
You think about goal line, like, when
Right.
you're on the 1 yard line, what do you think they're going to run? Dive.
Right.
So with that being said, it's kind of tricky because a lot of people, like, you'd be surprised. I guess you could imagine, but you'd be surprised how many times people actually run into that goalpost, and like get injured from it.
I'm not surprised, to be honest with you.
You could imagine so, right?
It's one of those things where it's like, that's what I think would happen, but I assume since they've done it for so long that maybe people aren't, but they are.
They are.
Because, I mean, even with it at the back of the end zone, people are still hitting it enough.
Exactly. Like, when you think about even, like, slant routes or something like that. But
right.
So, yeah, it's kind of crazy, too, because, people just throw fade routes the whole time. If they're not running right up the middle, it's a fade route right into the back corner of the end zone because it's 20 yards, right?
I was going to say you got a lot more room.
Exactly.
That kind of changes a lot, actually.
Changes a lot.
I'm, like, looking at pictures of it right now.
And, for me, too, especially because I grew up playing, defensive end and on the D-line mostly. So,
yeah,
there's, like, a whole yard of space between the line of scrimmage and the defensive line.
Yeah.
So you can't even, like, get up to the line or nothing like that. You have to have 1 yard in between.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that, actually.
So it's kind of weird because, I have a certain technique or, like, my fundamentals of, where I need to step, what kind of steps I'm taking, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Canada, you take that, throw it away.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Because you have to take an extra step.
You're like, it's almost like you get a running start.
Basically, talking about a running start, the receivers get to run to the line of scrimmage before the play.
I actually didn't know it. I didn't know that either.
It's kind of crazy.
I haven't watched any Canadian football. I didn't realize it was.
Yeah, you'll have to check out the CFL or something.
Yeah, when I asked you that question, I was kind of more like in my mind, I was thinking more like competition level and all that. I totally forgot the aspect of you're playing not a completely different, but a very different.
It's a variation
setup
of football for sure.
How wide is the field?
Ooh,
do you know? Because is it like 53 in the?
I think it's like 67.
Really?
Yards in width.
That's kind of a big field.
Yeah, it is pretty big, and plus, like, there's like a 55-yard line in the middle of the field.
Okay, so there's a 50, a 55, and a 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what's the competition level like? Like, is it pretty, like, are there decent dudes?
So that's the thing. There's some good dudes. Like, there's some good talent coming out of Canada, but, like, take this into perspective. From my graduating class, there was 10 of us who went Division I, right? Okay. And I was the only one who still played in Canada that went Division I in the whole country. So
what do you mean by that? Sorry, say that again.
So I'm the only person in my class in all of the country who went Division I.
Oh, in all the country?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the other 9 dudes all went to, like, a prep school, like, in New Jersey, Florida, California, all that.
Oh, so okay, I got you.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Straight out of high school.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that makes more sense. You had me lost for a second, but I'm following you.
So, yeah, with that being said, so you can imagine kind of like, I mean, there's good talent. It's just, it's hard to get recruited out of a whole different country.
Dude, I bet.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't even get recruited really like that until the start of my senior year.
So how did you get recruited?
Yeah, so one of the dudes who was a year before me, got recruited to UConn.
Okay.
And so they actually liked what he's doing. They started him his freshman year, and they saw that, I was all Canadian when I was a junior with him. And, so my name was kind of just floating around with his, with that being said. And so, they liked what they saw, and then they ended up hitting me up right before senior year of football season, and then got me out on a visit and offered me. And after that, everything else just kind of flowed with it. You know how it works. With the whole recruiting thing. So
let's just get the ball rolling.
Exactly.
Once you get that first offer, it's like, especially for someone like you, like half the battle. I mean, you got all the size, stature, all that crap. It's like you just need to get on the board.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You just need to get out there.
So UConn was your first offer.
Yep.
Where'd it go from there?
So after that, obviously, I'm not trying to say it like that, but I got a bunch of Ivy League offers.
Okay.
Which is kind of interesting.
You got good grades?
I was about to say, which is kind of interesting because in high school, I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously now I see why grades are important, school's important, but at the time, I'm not going to give you the exact GPA number, but it was in the twos.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, no, which is why I'm shocked that I got all these Ivy League offers. But, no, after that, I got, who did I offer to by next? I think it was Coastal Carolina next.
Okay.
And then, Tulane came in, offered me, UMass offered me after that.
Yeah.
And some other, FBS schools too, but none in Power 5 or nothing like that. I did get looks from a bunch of them, but a lot of them wanted me to come up to their camps and stuff like that. And, my mom just couldn't afford, to travel and all that stuff. So
that's a far.
That plane ticket is not cheap.
It's not like us driving down to Vegas or driving to, California.
That's what I'm saying. So, I just took what I could get, and most of it all was through Twitter.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I communicate with all all the coaches, all the recruits and stuff like that. And, next thing you know, Boise State came in as, my 8th offer, I believe, my 8th FBS offer. And so that was the one for me. I took a visit. I think it was right before my final game senior year.
Yeah.
I took a visit, just 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it is. And then, it was a spot for me at the time.
So what'd you like about Boise? What made you pick that initially?
Yeah, so it was pretty cool, just to get down there because, it's funny because they were playing BYU.
Oh, yeah?
They were playing BYU that game. And it was like a rival game, so obviously it's sold out. It's packed out.
Always a good game.
The atmosphere is crazy, and the blue turf kind of caught me off guard, but in a good way.
Yeah. Did you not know they had blue turf before you got there?
I did, but, I didn't think it was going to be like that.
Right.
I thought it was just going to be,
yeah,
they have blue turf. But
right.
When you get there and you see them, damn, they got blue turf.
It's
blue turf. It's like blue turf.
It's one of those things that doesn't register until you're looking at it.
Exactly. And so it was intriguing to me.
Yeah.
And then, at the time the city was still growing, so it was still relatively chill, small. It was a cheap place to live.
Right.
And I felt like that was a place where I could truly develop into the man that I want to be. And that's pretty much it. I really liked one of the coaches that recruited me, but he actually ended up changing positions once I got there.
Oh, for real?
I was like, dude, come on. But
who was your position coach for the
Spencer Danielson?
I don't know him. Was Pop not your?
Nah.
He was special teams, huh?
So Kelly didn't come to Boise until this last season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he was my 6th coach.
Oh,
I've
gotcha.
had being Boise State in the 4 years.
Right.
So it was cool. At the time when he came though, I was playing middle linebacker. I just switched after my junior year to middle linebacker. Wanted to see how that was going, and then next thing you know, after fall camp, they threw me back at – they didn't throw me back at DN, but they threw me at outside linebacker, Sam linebacker.
Yeah.
And which that was cool. I was cool with that. I feel like they gave me a good opportunity to, pass rush and blitz and stuff like that, which is what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But it just didn't work out in the end.
So what's your favorite position you've played?
Middle linebacker.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why do you like that so much?
Because I feel like how I play football is like I really like to use my athletic ability. And plus
Right.
at the time I was only like 215, 216.
Yeah.
You know, so I was relatively faster than I've ever been.
Right.
You know, I could move better than I ever have.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that being said, that's why it was just fun. And like I had the freedom to, you know, hit the gap whenever I wanted, you know, obviously
Right.
when it's a run. Or like I really take pride in my drops and coverage and stuff like that too. You know, and so with that being said, it's my favorite position because, you know, you can mix it up. And plus, you know, you're like you're pretty much like the leader of the defense in a way. So it was a cool, you know, responsibility and position that they put me in.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
So you were at Boise for 4 years?
Yeah.
I got a call.
4
years.
Yes, sir. 4 years.
And then, so do you have 1 year left or 2 years? Like, did you redshirt?
So I have 2 years left. I did redshirt my freshman year.
Okay.
But yeah, I have 2 years left with COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2 years left.
Gotcha.
So 2 years left.
So what ultimately led to you hitting the portal?
So that's actually where where the linebacker thing kind of comes into play with my decision because when they moved me back to Sam linebacker, it was tough for me because, you know, I spent all the spring, all the summer, and all the fall camp playing a whole different position. So it's kind of hard to like get back into a whole different scheme, a whole different technique, fundamentals, and everything. Like, I had it down. It was just I wasn't used to it, and so with that being said, and plus it was just kind of disappointing. You know, like middle linebacker was so fun to play. It was my favorite position. I've always wanted to do it. It's like a D-line's dream to be a linebacker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, like it was with all that coming into play and everything, I ended up actually going from Sam linebacker back to D-end for the last 3 games.
Oh, yeah.
And since everything was already figured out, all the depth charts and everything like that, I ended up being second string on the defensive end position.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, like this is my 4th year, you know, and I don't have that much time left to just kind of bullshit. In all honesty, you know what I'm saying? Like they were kind of just like didn't know what to do with me. And it's weird because I went from being a starter my junior year, you know, making plays, yada, yada, to my last game against Air Force with 7 snaps.
Right.
2 of them including special teams.
Right.
So with that being said, I'm like, all right, like I love my time here. It's been great.
Yeah.
I got to keep pushing. This is a business decision for me at the end of the day.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you got to make the decisions best for you.
Exactly. You know, and plus, like, shoot, I can be used somewhere else. You know, like, that's kind of the mentality I had. I'm not trying to say that in, like, a bad way, but it's just facts. You know what I'm saying?
You have to know what you're worth yourself, because if you aren't going to respect yourself that way, then other people won't. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like you got to respect yourself first.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you know, if you let people push you around, do things to you, it's like that's just the way it's going to go.
Exactly.
No, I feel that.
So
yeah, no, you end up hitting the portal.
Yep.
Was that would have been December?
No,
or when?
It was after the 6th week of season. So
Oh,
it was
really?
like late October.
Okay. During the season still?
During the season.
Okay. So junior year, last game was bad, and then you went into that next season. You stuck around for that next.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did, because obviously, like, with the potential of playing middle linebacker, and
Right.
you know, I was in the battle to start at middle linebacker too. You know.
Yeah.
So I had hope. I had faith. I trusted my coaches. They
Gotcha.
would, you know, do something with me, but at the end of the day, it just didn't work out. So
No, for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm assuming you had more offers than just BYU while you were in the portal.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because I had quite a few FCS offers at the start. You know, the first day, I think I got like 6, and then no, not 6, like 5. But a lot of them, I just obviously wasn't really interested in, because, you know, I mean, I'm trying to play FBS, if that makes sense.
No,
you know,
for
because
sure.
I'm trying to get the best opportunity that I can to be seen and display my talents on, a bigger stage.
Yeah.
That being said, so I kind of just, kept it waiting, played the waiting game for a couple days, and then I got offered by Hawaii, went on a visit there. I actually went on a visit after I came on a visit to BYU, and I didn't even get offered by BYU at first. They wanted me to come out on a visit, see how I was, yada, yada, and see, if I could fit in with the guys and all that. And then I got offered on my BYU visit. Then I was like, all right, let me go on this Hawaii visit just to see how it is. And plus, who's going to turn down a free trip to Hawaii,
right? You got to be crazy.
Who's going to turn down a free trip to Hawaii? You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, I was like, when I come back from Hawaii, I'll make my decision, and I'll let y'all know.
Bro, I bet they get I bet anybody who they throw like, hey, let's, come on a visit. I bet no one turns that down.
Yeah, and if you turn down a visit to Hawaii, there's only two reasons for it. Number one is because other schools told you, if you go on this visit, we're taking this offer away from you.
Right.
Or number two is you already got something planned out for you, and you're already going to Hawaii eventually.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying, for like Christmas break or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that being said, man, like, yeah, I had to take that visit. Plus, they're really like cool program. The coaching staff's like genuine. They're really nice guys, but
right.
At the end of the day, like I said, try and play on as big of a stage as I can.
For sure. So then you committed to BYU after that?
Right after.
There you go. And then you got here in January and did the whole spring ball thing.
Yep.
What's the biggest difference you see in, like, being at BYU versus Boise?
Ooh. Well, first of all, the thing that stands out the most is just the culture. Like, obviously coming from Boise State, where, just people in general have different values, different perspectives, different, just all around culture. That's probably the main thing that's so different, because, shoot, at Boise State we had like two guys who were married, who were even LDS.
Yeah.
And then I come to BYU and,
everybody's married.
Like, it's cool. It's cool to see, it's cool because I'm around a bunch of individuals who are mature and grown enough to be in a position to get married, to take that step in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that, like, I really admire in all honesty. And so with that being said, that was the biggest difference.
Yeah.
I think that once spring ball started, I feel like don't get me wrong, Boise State, we had great talent.
Right.
Especially on offense. Our receiving cores were good. Offensive line was good. But I feel like coming to BYU, not only is everybody bigger, faster and stronger, but, like, the level of competition, like, I would have to try that much harder every day at practice, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a whole different level of talent when you come to, like, BYU or even just, like, any Power 5 school, really. Right. So I feel like it's really cool. That's something that I wanted because I know it's just going to get me better at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. That's what ultimately it's what you need. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you can be disciplined and you can try to hold yourself accountable, but at the end of the day, nothing holds you accountable like competition.
Exactly.
Because you have no choice.
Exactly. You have no choice.
Yeah. Versus
it's either you swim or you drown.
Yeah, but when you don't have that, you can, take the day off or, maybe not go as hard that day. Like, you can. And
exactly.
And it's really, really hard not to.
And change your mentality all around, too.
For sure.
It changes how you go about things in all aspects, all phases of the game. So with that being said, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool how it all changed.
So let me ask you this. You got to be honest about this, though.
All right.
Do you know the fight song? They haven't asked you to do it yet, have they?
Heck no, they didn't ask me to do it yet. Man, you caught me.
That's funny.
No, I'll be honest with you. I don't even know the first word of the fight song.
I asked them, I'm like, just give me the first word. I bet I know it. They're like, rise. I'm like, oh, it's like rise and shout, huh? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh, well, that's
and
funny.
When you get up to the front of the stage and if you mess up, everybody's booing you.
Yeah.
Man. Every time we go to sing the fight song, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, please don't call my name.
Yeah.
Please don't call my name. Just give me one more day.
Right. And then I still haven't learned it. But for those who don't know, whenever we have, like, they make the new guys get up in front of the team, they'll pick like 2 or 3 dudes, make them come sing the fight song. And
Newcomers.
if you don't know the words, you get water balls thrown at you, all this stuff. And then you have to roll 100 yards at the end of practice. Yeah. So
it's a tough deal.
Looks like we just exposed ourselves, so we better get on that
practice,
now.
Man.
I'm going to be listening to that thing all week now.
I was going to say, I'm listening to that as soon as I go home, man.
Oh, it's funny. So what's like your favorite part of just football in general?
Honestly, it's the atmosphere.
Yeah.
There's like, that's really my favorite thing. You know, when you go out and you make a play or something like that, everybody, your whole team, all the fans, everybody yelling at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that feeling like, oh, yeah, that's going to be on, that's going to be on Twitter after this game.
Yeah.
See this, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a cool feeling to have, man. That's something that, like, not a lot of people get to, experience in their lives in general.
Yeah.
You know? And so even playing at this level is something that not a lot of people get to experience, and they would die to experience it in their lives. So with that being said, bro, like, the atmosphere is definitely one of the biggest reasons why I love the game so much, especially college football in general,
I'm the same way because, I mean, like, there's some dudes who just love banging heads.
Yeah.
I mean, I love a good tackle. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love the physical aspect of it.
I've seen it. Trust me, yeah, I know.
But, like, I love, like, the whole atmosphere of, like, I'm with you on that being, like, I remember when I was, like, I found out I was going to be coming to BYU and I went to a game. They're actually playing Utah State. And so I went to the game. And, like, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, holy cow, like, this is crazy. I was like, it gets legit there. You've played in
Yeah, so I've played in LES twice.
Okay.
Lost the first time. In my defense, I wasn't playing. I was still a freshman.
Okay.
And then the second time I came down, it was actually when they were top 10 in the nation. And that was actually one of the games that I started that year, too.
Was that COVID?
Nah, it was 2021.
Okay.
Year after COVID.
Okay.
And, came in and spanked them.
Yeah. There you go. What have you played any crazy places? What's been the hardest environment?
I feel like the craziest place I've ever played was Fresno.
Really?
Dude, it was crazy. Like, there were people getting, like, beat up in the stands by their own. Like, I'm serious. Like, Fresno State fans were getting beat up by other Fresno State fans because we were whooping them so bad.
Yeah, you know what? That doesn't surprise me a bit.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, dang. Like, I look back because I was sitting on the sideline when the offense was out. I look back, and literally I see this dude getting grabbed, thrown over the fence onto our field. I'm like, dude, are you serious? And then there's cops coming down and stuff. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
That describes crazy. Fresno perfectly.
That's what I'm saying, right?
If you've ever been to Fresno, you know.
It's crazy, man. Y'all got to chill. But no, that's cool, though. You know what I'm saying? But that was definitely the craziest place. I feel like when we talk about atmosphere and, like, the fan bases, like, in a cool environment, LES is definitely up there for me.
Yeah, for sure.
It was definitely up there for me, especially when we were playing them the last time here. It was packed out, sold out game.
Yeah.
And even though they weren't cheering for me, or my team at the time, like, it was still sick. It was awesome. Crazy. It was a cool experience.
They got some pride there.
They really do. They really do, man.
What are some of your hobbies outside of football?
Yeah, so honestly, I grew up playing a bunch of instruments. Like, I played like 7.
Name them.
So I played the piano. I played the drums. It's funny that you say that because I actually grew up playing in a band.
Oh, no way.
Middle school. Yeah,
there you go.
So in middle school, we, like, had good sports and everything, but it was mainly an art school.
Okay.
So every Friday morning for like a month straight, my band would play a song in front of the whole school.
Hey,
and so literally it was crazy, man. Like, I go from playing the drums one week to playing, like, the electric guitar one week, then going to play the acoustic. Then, I played the bass. I played the trumpet, first trumpet, by the way, in our little, like, it was a different band that I was in that was playing trumpet.
Is that, like, lead trumpet? That's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
I love it.
It's a big deal, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, so, I played, like I said, the piano, too, and all that stuff. I kind of dabbled in other instruments, but.
That's dope. Can you read music? Or are you just an ear guy?
Honestly, I used to read music like pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, but now it's kind of just I like to listen to it and kind of just figure out it's cool because obviously I can't bring a piano with me
Right.
in my little bedroom here at my house or even in Boise, my dorm. So
Right.
it's funny because my best friend's mom knew that I used to play piano.
Yeah.
And so she bought me like a little rollout like piano.
No
Like,
way.
it's crazy, man. It's like there's like a battery on the side, and then it's just this like sheet of keys.
Really?
Yeah, you just roll it out and just get going to it. It's
That's
like
actually
it's a
so
keyboard,
cool.
literally.
That's way cool.
Yeah, so sometimes I don't tell too many people this, but sometimes like I'll bust it out, you know, maybe play like a little song here.
You
and
take it
there.
on dates with you, huh? You guys, you're sitting in the car. You pop that thing up on the dash, like, hey.
Hey, let me show you something real quick.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, shoot, that's a good idea. I
Might have to.
Might have to, but yeah.
So, are you like? Is music a big thing for you still? Like, are you really into like artists and this and that?
Playing music, nah, not really anymore. I just do it for fun. But like, I am interested in music in general.
Yeah.
You know, I like all kinds of music.
Mm-hmm.
Especially lately, I'm getting to like old R&B music.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
what?
Just the classics. I mean, like, there's specific songs I could say, but, you know, just trying to find something that just a cool little vibe that I'm just sitting listening to, you know, because it's good energy.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I need good energy. You know what I'm
without
saying?
a doubt.
Because a lot of times, like, I'll listen to, like, rap, hardcore rap,
Yeah.
you know, stuff like that.
It
Especially
gets
since
old.
It gets old.
You need to
know, and
mix
plus,
it up.
like, when that's all you're listening to, you know, that's the type of energy you're feeling.
For sure.
Or 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, it's cool to switch it up.
What's your pregame music?
Pregame music, it's rap.
It's rap. You got to
Straight
get in that
rap.
mindset.
Yeah.
What artist?
I like to listen to Meek Mill a lot. Dreams
Okay.
and Nightmares, it's like my personal theme song.
Dreams and Nightmares.
Dreams and Nightmares.
Meek Mill was hot quite a few years ago.
He was.
I don't listen to him really. Dreams and Nightmares. One.
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know word for word.
You
But-
do? Oh man, we might have to get a video of you singing that.
man.
No, that's funny.
Yeah, man. But you know, I'll listen to like some Lil Baby. Key Glock is definitely up there for me.
Yeah.
You know, Young Nudie.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with him. Yeah, you got to check him out.
All right.
His beat is just like it's different from anybody else I've ever heard.
How do you spell nudie?
Nudy.
Okay, there you go.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll check him out later. We'll listen to it in the
Yeah,
car.
you'll have to.
Yeah.
You'll have to for sure.
I'll report. What are some things like when you think about like looking back and being like, okay, I lived a successful life? Like, what are some of those things to you that are important and that you would deem like success for you?
Totally. I feel like the biggest things for success, for me at least, are the choices that I've made in regards to, you know, how I go about my career.
Mm-hmm.
And even just like decisions that I've made to create certain habits that I have for, you know, my personal life, for, you know, just me in general.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, you know, my purpose, what I found my purpose in life, what I believe it is, you know, and the relationships that I've built, and, you know, keeping that circle small, but that circle is so important to me because they're like my biggest fans, you know what I'm saying? So why wouldn't they be important to me? Why wouldn't I treat them, you know, like my people? Because they are my people.
Right.
And I feel like having a good support group is so important to have in life.
Yeah.
Because literally I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them.
For sure.
You know, and so with that being said, man, like I feel like when I think about success, it's things like that I've created or I guess have attained in my life.
That's a really good answer, actually. Who are some of the most influential people in your life?
My mom.
Yeah.
Is number one, 100%.
Mama's boy?
Yeah.
That's
time.
good.
It's
Those are
crazy
the best ones.
Yeah, because, you know, my dad, he wasn't around too much when I was growing up, you know, because he'd be gone, he'd be gone for like 3 months at a time, sometimes 4 months, 6 months.
For real.
You know, yeah, so it was crazy, kind of just me and my mom, and, you know, she's the one who got me into sports. She got me into football. I remember when I was a little kid, she, like, brought home a little football, and we lived in an apartment building my whole life every time we moved, and so we couldn't go out to a yard or nothing.
Yeah.
I couldn't like go throw a football. And since I moved so much, I didn't have any friends.
Right.
So my mom, she would sit there. Me and her would just play pass in her room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just back and forth, and we just talk and dream about me playing in the league someday, or the great things that I can accomplish in my life if I just try and believe. And so she's always believed in me in my life. Shoot, she still does to this day. Every day she calls me and gives me a pep talk.
Yeah.
So
she keep you in line?
Oh yeah,
good.
all the time.
That's funny.
Yeah. So my mom's definitely up there for me.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I have a few friends who, I feel like aren't just friends to me, in all honesty, because I've never had a brother growing up. And so when I find these people and, like, they get so close to me that, I see them as my brothers. If I was to have one, that's what they would be. You know what I'm saying? People who, hold me accountable, and when the darkest times of my life have been there for me, and always looked out for me and had my best interest in mind. Like, those are the kind of people who have kept me around, really. I don't even feel like I'd be playing football if it weren't for some of my guys. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how it is. College football, it's crazy sometimes, bro.
Yeah.
It'll hit you deep, man.
Without a doubt.
So
it'll have you questioning some things.
Literally, And so with that being said, man, like, having those guys in my life, that's a big deal for me.
2 questions off of that. One, have you thought about, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, like if it's a surprise, but have you thought about a way that you, like, one of your goals in life is like something you want to repay your mom with? Like, does that make sense? You already know what that is?
Yeah, for sure.
You share it or no?
Yeah, I can share it.
What is it?
I tell her every day, I'm like, Mom, I'm going to get you a Benz. Like, the newest Benz, SUV, anything you want, because she's always talked about, I want to get a Benz someday. Yada, yada. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get you one.
That's cool.
And then, so my mom, my whole life, I grew up thinking, I'm going to get you a crib too, yada, yada. But she actually got remarried 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And they got a nice little crib. She actually lives in North Carolina right now.
Oh, that's a nice place.
So they got a crib, the mortgage is paid.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So I'm like, man,
they're chilling now with the crib.
Chilling now, like, what else do I need to do for you other than the car? So
that's sweet. You're a car guy, right? Yeah. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm a car guy too. You can drive Benz right now.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, sir. It's a little C300.
That's what we like.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. So what are some things about college football that, like, you don't think about or they don't tell you until, like, you're in it? Because you said there's some, like, tough times.
Question. Yeah.
That's funny. I actually had that written down, and then you said that. I was like, oh,
that is
perfect.
A good question because there's so much. College football is nothing what I thought it would be. Nothing like how I thought it would be. It's insane how different it is. I'm not saying it's all bad, but I'm saying, like, when you first get here, you're like a deer in headlights.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't know anything. You don't even know who you truly are at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember for me personally, when I first got to Boise State, I was like, hell yeah, I'm D1, baby. Like,
you're the man.
Nobody can touch me. You know what I'm saying? And then, boom, first day, I passed out in my first lift. Literally, like, we were running.
Oh.
We were doing, like, stations on the blue turf.
Yeah.
And I remember it was terrible, man. It was like, on the turf, it was like 115, 120 degrees
Jeez.
Fahrenheit, and at the time, like, the most I've ever ran was, like, basketball. Because, like, I didn't work out in high school at all.
Really?
Whatsoever.
No weights, nothing. Summer workouts?
Nothing.
You just showed up fall camp or whatever?
I just showed up, played sports.
That's not
you
bad.
know what I'm saying? Yeah. And plus, in my offseason, I played basketball.
Yeah.
So I didn't have time to live. And plus, I wasn't trying to get too bulky because, I'm trying to jump.
For sure.
And, like, run and all that stuff. So,
yeah.
With that being said, man, I'm out there. We get to, like, the last drill of our circuit. So we're not even done with the run yet. We have a whole other 2/3 of the run left.
Right.
I get to the last drill. And this is where it went wrong for me. It went bad for me because I messed up the drill.
Yeah.
So I had to come back and do it again.
Oh, that's the worst.
Went through the whole thing again, messed it up again.
Oh.
Went through it again. And guess how many times this happened?
5.
12.
You messed up 12 times?
Messed up 12 times.
And then the brain's just foggy and you can't even think no more.
Dude, when I tell you, on my last rep that I did, all I saw was black. Boom. Face in the turf. Everything, man. Like, I was starstruck. I was like, dude, what the heck? There's no way. Like, maybe college football isn't for me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, maybe this ain't for me, man. You know, like I'm sitting there, I'm looking up in the sky. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't even see straight. My eyes are cross-eyed. I'm like dehydrated, huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. The trainer had to like carry me off the field and like splash water in my face. Like, are you good? Are you good? I'm like, no, I'm not good. I'm dying right now.
That's so funny because I know, like, I can picture it. You know, you mess up, and like as a freshman, day one, you know they're pressing you, trying to act tough. Like, we're gonna scare this kid.
Of course, they're trying to press you.
College football, this and that, and then oh man, I've seen it. I've never seen it go 12 times till they pass out though.
It was bad. It was bad, man. The thing is too, like, so to add on to your question, like, when you first get to college, like they try to break you down.
Yeah.
As a human being, really. At least and especially at Boise State, like that was their main thing.
Really?
We're gonna break you down to the point where you don't even know anything, you don't even know yourself, so they can build you up into their culture. And it was a blue collar culture. So
right.
Like it when I look back at it, it was cool because like I learned so much, and like I said, I wouldn't be the man that I am today if it wasn't for that. Right. Yeah. And I'm super grateful for it. But man, like it was a grind. It was bad. I remember the first year, in all honesty, was just terrible.
Really?
Terrible for me, man.
Did you have homesickness at all?
Yeah. Yeah. Big time. And it's crazy because since I was an international student, like I was completely out of my norm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was
new world.
Huge culture shock for me.
Yeah.
You know, and being Canadian, being the only Canadian on the team at that, like obviously I was, you know, separated, I feel, from just everybody who I came in with, you know, and like I couldn't really, it was hard for me to build friendships and, you know, bonds with people because I was seen as, you know, international. Like, I'm not from California. I'm not from Texas. I'm not from where y'all are from. So, like, with that being said, it was just weird being foreign. And so it was hard, man. It was going through all that, and then school, like I told you before, like, I wasn't the best student. Yeah. And so coming in, like, college classes, I didn't take them as seriously as I should have my freshman year. So that was a grind too, man. I'm in study hall all day long, every day, you know. And yeah, so I wouldn't say it was disappointing when I first got to college, but it was definitely hard. Yeah. It was different than what I expected it to be. And honestly, like, completely changing me as a human being and all my values that I hold to this day. Yeah.
No, without a doubt. And I think I think a lot of people go through, especially, I think it's already hard enough, but especially when you go out of state or out of country, away from your family, right? Because now you add a whole nother element of, like, homesickness, and, like, the people you go home to at the end of the day are no longer there. You go to a dorm. Or
you're on your own.
Yeah. And it's like there's so many things coming into play. I think a lot of people go through that and struggle. Totally. So, like, I mean, I went on a mission, and there's nothing like,
imagine,
bro, when you hit that freaking, you get off the plane, and I walk out in July, that Texas air just hits me, and I'm like, oh, it's hot. And it's like day one, you go, you have a little dinner, you meet, like, the mission president, and then boom, your companion, now you're off, and it's like, you just, like, now you're a missionary, and it's like, you're just like, your family's not there, you don't have anybody to talk to, it's like, you can't even, like, call, bro, like, this is crazy, like, you can't, it's just like, you just, it's an alone feeling for sure.
I can only imagine, man.
Yeah, so.
And it's crazy, because I actually grew up LDS.
Yeah.
And so, you know, my whole life, I planned on going to mission and everything when I was 17 years old, so I actually came to college when I was 17.
Oh, really?
Because my birthday's late. My birthday's not until July 17th. Okay. And I came to Boise State on July 5th.
For, like, that summer semester?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And so the whole time I was like, man, should I go on a mission? Should I go to play Division I football? You know, like, and so really what it came down to, I was like, well, you know, they didn't guarantee me my spot at Boise State if I was to go on my mission. Yeah. And so I was like, man, well, this is my best offer right now. And so with that being said, mission's just not for me, I guess. right
I've actually heard from a couple people that Boise makes it kind of tough if you want to go on a mission.
Yeah, big time. I mean, and I get it.
Right.
Like, I get it.
For sure.
And that's just college football. It's a business. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. And it's crazy because I actually reached out to BYU in high school.
Oh, really?
And, like, they were like, interested, you know, but, yeah, they just weren't feeling me at the end of it.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, I went through it too. Don't worry.
You know how it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Now look at them.
Right.
No.
That's funny. So, one more question for you is, like, what's something that you obsess over? Like, something's always on your mind.
Honestly, my future.
Yeah.
Like, I can't stop thinking about it, ever.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always thinking about what I'm going to do when I'm older, what I'm going to do when I'm 30, what I'm going to do when I'm 40, you know, what I want my family to be like, what I want my values to be when I'm older, what I want to sustain in my life, what I need to get rid of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a big part of my whole purpose in life, so to this point, has been to play football, professional football. And since it's like it's literally such a big part of my daily life, like I always think about, okay, what can I do to, I guess, give myself a better chance of playing professional football? Yeah. You know, how can I help my sister out, you know, financially, you know, and be a better support to her through playing football, you know, and even to my mom, like I said, you know, because they're really the reason why I'm trying to play football. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, obviously I love the sport, you know, and like it's been my dream to play in the league, but really at the end of the day, it's so that I can provide for my family, and my future family, my kids, my wife, so they can be good. Because like I feel like for me personally, obviously like Plan B is cool and everything like that, but just for me personally, I don't feel as though I do have a Plan B right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all or nothing really at this point for me.
Right.
So with that being said, that's why I transferred from Boise State. Yeah. You know, and like I'm doing all these different things, making all these different decisions so that I can do that for my family in the future. Without doubt.
So, I mean, you have to be.
You have to. You know what I'm saying?
To achieve that love, you have to be all in.
Exactly. No. So, yeah, that's what I think about on a daily basis. My future, man.
That's awesome. And I usually close out with this question. You kind of already answered it, or at least maybe you have something else. But I always ask, what's something about you that most people don't know? Ooh. And when you said the instrument thing, that was what, like, I would have never guessed that.
Right.
But if you have something else, you can share that too.
Ooh. Something that nobody would know about me.
Yeah. You got any, like, little quirks or things you do that might be kind of weird?
I'm really kind of a basic dude, bro.
Yeah. you know
just go through
I
don't do nothing crazy. I feel like, okay, it's not that crazy, but something that people don't know about me, I feel, is that if I don't have to do anything, like if I don't have football to do or school, like I'm in bed.
Yeah.
24/7.
You're a sleeper? Like, can you sleep or you just chill?
I just chill. Like I feel like I'm a very chill, relaxed guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I say that, like I mean it. Like I'm not doing anything.
You're just sitting there on your phone, video games?
No, I just sit there.
You just hang out.
Well, I don't sit there. I mean, I lay on my bed.
Yeah.
And it's cool because I got.
You're just sitting there like crisscross applesauce. No, just kidding. You said what?
Just like it is psych ward. Nah, but like all I do is just lay there and just contemplate things, think about my day. You know, I try to like do personal meditation a lot. You know, think about, you know, certain things I can improve on.
For sure.
And just reflect on myself a lot. You know, I feel like, sometimes I'll do all binging and stuff, but other than that, like, I really don't. Physically, I don't do anything.
That's cool.
On, like, a daily basis.
Dude, that's actually kind of dope because, like, one, like, it's nice to just relax sometimes. Yeah. And, like, me, like, I'm always doing something. I'm kind of like, I can't watch TV because I'm just sitting there. Like, I'll play a video game because I'm actively doing it. But, like, so, but also I think there is power, or I don't know if power is the right word, but, like, a lot of good comes from just, like, kind of chilling for a second and just thinking.
Yeah.
Like, so I fall asleep. I turn the TV on to fall asleep too,
Okay.
because if I don't have like noise, then I'm just thinking, and then I'm not like, you know, winding down and going to sleep. So I turn the TV on, so I'm like kind of hearing something. So my brain, like, anyways, the other day I turned the TV off, and like I was just laying there, and I'm like, like it's just dead quiet. Like I never have this. I'm like just kind of thinking. I'm like, this is kind of nice. I need to do this more often. So that's kind of cool.
Totally.
I like that.
It's crazy you say that you fall asleep to that, because I used to have to fall asleep to like a TV on or something like that too.
Yeah.
But ever since I found this one playlist on Apple Music, it's like this sleeping meditation music, and it's like 10 hours long, so you don't have to change the song or nothing. It's just, and I swear I've never had such good sleep in my life.
Really?
It was the best thing ever.
Send that thing to me.
I definitely will.
And
I promise you're gonna love it too.
All right.
Because it's insane. Like, you're gonna love it too. I swear, man. Like, it's a game changer, man. It's crazy. So I'll definitely have to send it to you. But,
for sure.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, you said you're a pretty basic dude, but I'd have to disagree. I think, like, you had a lot. I don't want to say you had a lot more to you than I thought you did, but you had a lot of really cool things that are different from other people on this that I've had on the podcast. And so, like, I'm literally sitting here thinking, like, one of the reasons I love doing this is because I get to know, like, I get to learn so many cool things. Like, from Canada, you lived a whole different life. Like, I don't know, you play all these instruments. So it's been sweet, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. And people are going to be excited when you're making plays, and they're like, oh, I saw that dude on the podcast. So I appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a blast, and we'll get after it.
Sounds good, baby.
Dope.